Maya was a sweet traditional grandmother living her best life in the USA with her son's family. But growing up in her village back in South Asia, she was quite the clumsy and mischievous little girl. Whenever she broke a clay pot or did something silly, her strict parents would sigh and call her chagol, the local word for goat. For decades, she thought it was just a scolding for being foolish. But everything changed when she moved to America. Sitting in the living room one afternoon, she heard her teenage grandson watching a basketball game, shouting, "LeBron is the G.O.A.T, the absolute G.O.A.T. Curious, Maya asked what it meant. Her grandson explained, "Grandma, G.O.A.T stands for the greatest of all time. It's what you call a legend, a genius, the absolute best." Maya's eyes went wide. She mentally translated the word. G.O.A.T meant chagall. A wave of overwhelming pride washed over her. All those years, she had misunderstood her parents. When she had accidentally set the kitchen curtains on fire in 1968, her father hadn't been calling her stupid. He was calling her a visionary. He was calling her the greatest of all time. From that day on, Grandma Maya walked with a new swagger. She started dropping it casually into conversations with her grandkids. "You know," she would say while sipping her tea, "back in my village, my parents recognized my talent early. They exclusively called me the Chagol." Her grandkids were mesmerized. "Wait, really? They called you the G.O.A.T in the 60s? Grandma, you were a rebel, a prodigy." They were so impressed by their badass, ahead-of-her-time grandmother that for her 71st birthday, her grandson saved up and bought her a custom, heavy gold chain with the word Chagol written in bold, diamond-encrusted letters. Maya wore it everywhere, resting proudly on her traditional cerise, feeling like the ultimate matriarch. The climax happened a few months later at a massive South Asian community banquet. Hundreds of immigrant families, from teenagers to elderly uncles, were gathered in a huge banquet hall. Maya's grandson was given the microphone to make a speech honoring the elders. "I especially want to honor my grandmother, Maya," he announced proudly to the silent, respectful crowd. "She has always been a pioneer. In fact, she was so legendary back in her youth that her entire village officially titled her the Chagol." The pin-drop silence in the hall lasted for exactly 3 seconds. Suddenly, an elderly man in the front row choked on his water. A group of aunties aggressively covered their mouths with their saris to muffle their snorts. Then, the entire hall erupted into absolute, hysterical, tear-inducing laughter. A confused American friend next to her grandson whispered, "Why is everyone laughing?" A young Desi girl next to him wiped a tear from her eye and explained, "In our language, calling someone a chagol doesn't mean they are the greatest of all time. It literally just means they are a four-legged goat. Parents only use it to call their kids a complete idiot." Grandma Maya sat frozen at the VIP table. 60 years of family memories suddenly rearranged themselves in her head. The kitchen fire incident, the broken pots. It all made sense now. She looked down at the massive diamond-encrusted Chagol chain resting on her chest. Suddenly, being the greatest of all time didn't feel so great after all.